Welcome to Profit in Stocks 101, and I have some commentary today on Apple. Apple is the largest stock in the history of the world now, and so because of that, most folks are very interested in whether or not they should purchase Apple or how they should trade Apple, being that it is the #1 stock in the world. So some notable things here with Apple that I want to point out. One is that the average trading volume is over 13 million shares on a 3-month average. So that's going to be key to my advice as far as how to trade Apple. I have not liked trading Apple. I know a lot of people, of course, have Apple stock. To me, Apple is so large and so heavily traded that it can't move as fast as I want it to move or would like it to move. I'm looking for a stock to try to double in at least a 6-month period of time, and I think that is just about impossible for Apple being the size that it is to double in a 6-month period of time. Now, do I think Apple can still go up? Yes, I think it can go up. I just don't like the rate of speed for my portfolio in which Apple is going to try to go up. So one thing also that is very encouraging with Apple is just look at the amount of money that Apple is making. I just come to this page sometimes just to see and say, man, the sales for Apple are just out of this world. So in 2009 they had I think that's 17 billion in sales, and then this would be 43, almost 44 billion dollars in sales, and that was in 2011. I don't even know what it's going to be in 2012, but they're definitely continuing to increase, and that's some huge increases in sales, and that is why the stock price is increasing like it is. So just going back, the one thing that does cause me concern right now for Apple, and I actually have this pulled up, is just looking at some of the historical pricing for Apple. Back in April 19th, April 10th of 2012, Apple hit a high of $644, and then it proceeded to pull back from that point. As you can see, it quickly went down under the $500, back into $500 a share range after it hit that high of $644. So you would have been stopped out of the stock if we would have been playing it with our methodology at that time. So it has been, especially when it dropped down here to the $522 range. So it definitely bottomed out, which is fine because the stock just can't keep going up for forever. You're going to get stopped out of different stocks, and that doesn't mean it's a stock that's not worth playing again. It just means you've been stopped out of the stock, and you got to kind of wait for it to take off and do its rise. So just kind of bringing it up to date over here. The stock crossed over that 644 buy point. Let's see. Right here on August 17th is when it made it across that 644 buy point. It went to 665 and then 674. And see, that day that it hit $674 a share, it closed down for the day. So the closing price for the day ended up being $656, where the day before it was at $665. So it actually closed down about $9 a share, and that 29 million shares traded is very heavily volume. That's almost 3 times the average shares volume in a day, being at 13 million shares. So, and I'm just going to look back here, and I don't see another day where Apple actually traded that heavy, really in the last 3 months. So the largest trading day in the last 3 months was a couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, and it finished down for the day with 29 million. So when a stock is going up, and that's what they call a dramatic top, it did top out. It made a new high, but it closed down underneath the previous day's close, and it was a heavy volume, which typically means that the stock has topped out. That's like the grand finale or big kind of a big blowout day where the stock went down, and a lot of traders would go ahead and get out of the stock. So the stock has continued to move a little bit higher to 680, 682, but really hasn't left that, really hasn't went anywhere significant. And if you look at the volume, there's really, even though it's went up, look at this day on Friday where it hit a new 52-week high, it still didn't even make its average volume for that day. So since that 29 million day, it has not even increased, went over the average volume. Now the market in general has been going up on light volume, which is not a good sign. We need to see heavy volume pushing these stocks higher, not light volume. That is setting things up for a fall in general. So we're not out of the woods on Apple. I'm not saying that it's not going to continue to go up any higher. It's just not a stock that I'm going to put any of my capital in, because I'm sticking my capital in stocks that I know for sure, well, not necessarily for sure, but stocks that I think have a good chance of doubling in the next 6 months. And this stock, in my opinion, is not going to do that. So that's my opinion of Apple. And subscribe to my blog, or subscribe here on this YouTube page, and you will get more updates on other stocks as we go along. Thank you.